International trade is this giant puzzle. On the one hand, it's this amazing engine for making pretty much everyone richer. But on the other hand, it is a constant source of friction and fights. So why is something that's supposed to be so good for everyone so dang hard? All right, let's get into it.
Right at the heart of this puzzle is the institution that was built to solve it, the World Trade Organization, the WTO. For like 70 years, it's been the referee for global trade. But today, it is facing a massive crisis. And that brings us to the big question we're tackling in this explainer. Is the WTO even relevant anymore?
So, to really get what the WTO does, we first have to understand what everyone's fighting for. Why do countries even deal with all the headaches of international trade? What's the price?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Trade isn't really about selling stuff. It's about buying stuff. It lets every single country break past its own limits and gives its people access to way more goods, more variety, and usually at cheaper prices. This whole thing works because of a really powerful economic idea called comparative advantage. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be the absolute best at making something. It just means you should focus on what you're most efficient at making, and then just let other countries do the same. Okay, this slide right here is where it all clicks. Just look at the numbers. On the left, without trade, the US and China can only have what they can make themselves. But on the right, with trade, where the US focuses on computers and China focuses on shirts, look what happens. Both countries end up with more computers and more shirts. It's not about one person winning and one person losing. The whole pie actually gets bigger for everyone. And this quote just boils it all down, doesn't it? Countries get ahead by specializing in things that use what they have a lot of. Maybe that's a super skilled workforce, maybe it's a ton of natural resources. It's a crazy powerful idea that, in theory, should make everybody just get along. Focus on what you do best, trade for the rest. Simple, right? Well, not so fast. And that brings us to the big but. If trade is such a win-win, why are countries always putting up barriers, getting into fights over tariffs, and just struggling to make deals? Well, the answer comes down to one thing: a total lack of trust.
It's a fair question, right? If this whole comparative advantage thing is true, why wouldn't every country just drop all their trade barriers tomorrow and start cashing in on the benefits? Why wait for anybody else?
And here is the absolute key. There's no world police to make sure everyone plays by the rules. What happens if you open up your markets, but the other country decides not to? You've just handed them a massive advantage, and you could end up hurting your own people. That fear of being played for a fool, it's a really powerful reason not to act. This whole situation is perfectly captured by a super fascinating idea from game theory called the prisoner's dilemma. It's a thought experiment that explains why two totally rational people or countries might refuse to work together, even when it's absolutely in their best interest to do so. All right, let's walk through this. Look at the top left box. If everybody liberalizes, opens up trade, it's a win-win. Everyone is better off. That's the best outcome for the group. But now, here's the trap. Look at the top right. If the G20 opens up, but the EU decides to protect its own market, the EU gets the best possible deal for itself. They get to sell their stuff everywhere, but their own industries are safe. Of course, the G20 gets totally screwed. So because neither side wants to be the one who gets screwed, the safest, most logical move for each of them individually is to protect. And when they both do that, they end up in the bottom right box, the lose-lose. They're both worse off than if they had just trusted each other in the first place. And that's the trap, right there. Each government doing what seems smart and rational for itself to avoid getting taken advantage of ends up creating a situation where everybody loses. So how do you escape this trap?
Well, you bring in a referee, and that is exactly where the World Trade Organization comes into the picture. Its whole reason for being is to be the solution to this trust problem.
See, the WTO was built to provide the one thing the global system just doesn't have on its own: a believable way to make sure people keep their promises. It gives countries the confidence to open up their markets because they know their trading partners will be held to the exact same rules.
The WTO basically does this in three big ways. First, it helps create a common rule book that everyone agrees to play by, a level playing field. Second, it acts like a neighborhood watch, monitoring countries to make sure they're actually following the rules and being open about what they're doing. And third, and this is the big one, it provides a system to settle fights when one country accuses another one of cheating. Okay, I know this flowchart looks kind of complicated, but it shows the WTO's actual official process for handling these fights.
It's not just countries yelling at each other. There are real steps, they talk it out, an expert panel investigates the complaint, and then there's a formal ruling. And if a country is found guilty of breaking the rules, the WTO can actually authorize the other country to retaliate, like by slapping on some tariffs. This isn't just a suggestion box, it's a system with real consequences. And this is a perfect example of how it works in the real world. Back in 2002, Brazil took on the United States over its cotton subsidies. It was a long, drawn-out fight, but in the end, the WTO sided with Brazil and gave them the go-ahead to retaliate against the U.S. Faced with those real consequences, the U.S. government eventually changed its policy. This case was huge because it proved that even the biggest economy in the world had to play by the rules.
So for decades, this system worked pretty well and led to a massive boom in global trade. But today, the referee that keeps the game fair, well, it's in serious trouble. And that threatens to throw us all right back into that nasty prisoner's dilemma.
The very system we just saw in action, that whole dispute settlement thing, is basically paralyzed right now. The WTO's power to enforce promises has been cut off at the knees.
And look, I'm not being dramatic here. This quote says it all. The whole system basically just stopped working at the end of 2019. The Supreme Court for Global Trade just went dark.
So what happened? Basically, the United States, across a couple of different administrations, started blocking new judges from being appointed to the WTO's Supreme Court, called the appellate body. The U.S. argument was that these judges were going too far, that they were making up new trade rules instead of just interpreting the ones that already existed. Well, without enough judges, the court can't hear any cases, so effectively, the whole enforcement system is just broken.
And this leaves us with a really unsettling question. If the one institution that was built to solve the trust trap is out of commission, what happens next? Can countries still count on each other to keep their promises, or does the world just slide back into a game where everyone protects their own turf and ultimately nobody really wins?